ready to start an improvement on the Amtrak station. All the things that do, the historical commission is getting through with it. They're getting ready to start bidding that out. So this is just a letter that we understand what we must do for ADA compliance, which has to happen. This is just a letter that needs to be signed, and they want to make it official through a motion that is being done, and I signed the letter and we're ready to go. So within, we're hoping that all this falls in place at the same time. The bag and all that will be finished all at the same time.
Yes, sir. If that letter was in Dropbox, it could be issued to item 1. Yeah. All right, let's move on to item 2 then. This is on the voting agenda tonight, and it relates to change order request number 4 regarding additional exterior repointing recommended by Lewis.
Hey, man. May I go back to that other?
Oh, yeah.
We've got a consent of owner letter. We still got Mr. Willis's name on that as copy. Correct that.
We'll make them aware. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Okay, so again, this item 2 appears on the voting agenda, and it is change order.
Yes, sir. Councilman Jenkins probably understand this is a lot, so much better. But again, as they found in the building, they found some breaches in with the molding, some hospital compensation, something that has been missed. But they looked at it, and that's why it's color coded, what needs to be done, those things need to be filled in. I think the best way for me to understand how to understand is just like if you're in the bathroom, you have to seal this thing out. It has to be sealed, and that's why it's broken down. And if we don't do it now, we'll pay for it on the end. So it's just one of those things that need to be done. They even had someone else to check it out. It's one of those things that's legit. It's going to change order that's monetary change order that we can't make, but it needs to be done.
Any issues or questions with respect to this?
I mean, go on record and say I'll be abstaining from the vote on this. I work with the labor company on other projects. They're subcontractors that would be doing this work, so I'm not going to approve any allocation. I think it's necessary, but the real question I have is, I know we did a pretty extensive review of this facility prior to putting it out to bid. We had lifts out there that looked at all of this. Why didn't our design team recognize this need? I mean, they got the whole back of the building we covered, but we left off the three sides that, I mean, some of this right over the front door. I mean, I just don't understand how we missed it in our, that's a question for the design team more than anybody else. And, you know, it is what it is at this point. I don't see much choice from our standpoint, but I feel like it should have been caught.
And that's the same. David has really written over the code on this. As a matter of fact, we went down on people to make sure this needs to be done. And it's one of those things. It was missed, and it was not our, our architect. Yeah, it was missed.
Yeah, that's also my wrong, because this was not a small undertaking. We wanted to make sure we had everything right. And, you know, I get these feelings that sometimes, because it's known that we want to get this done, more here this now, that it's, oh, well, we forgot this. But I understand, we got to be done, but what's next?
Well, the point's well taken. We know that again, Jason and Dave have done a great job of holding account, and
right.
It won't, because we had to make sure we got a second opinion. This has to be done. So again, and believe me, it's been made notice, hey, you missed this, it's not you missed this.
Well, I appreciate that the subcontractor is doing it for the same price that they bid the portions that are in the contract at. So, you know, it would have come in at this number at the bid time too. It would have just come in this much higher, except for the overhead profit from the GC. We don't know how much of that we could have saved, which, you know, 7.5%, I think, overhead profit on both of those, so 15 total when you get down to it. On bid day, that number probably is lower. It normally is. So,
Right, I just do my, I'm no contract, I have no background, but this is particularly the need for it to be done. We need to take a picture of it, and that was my frustration. You shouldn't have been there, I mean.
It was just this, the
Yeah.
flashing on the front end, so again,
Yeah.
we've been there, and again, I guess the best way to me this way, it's on my shoulders, where we got to fix this, and that's on my shoulders.
Anything further on item two? Okay, before we get to the city manager updates, we've all been provided this fact sheet for demolition of 14 substandard structures. We actually talked about this previous work session 2 weeks ago. We need to amend the agenda to put this on there, so if any questions about this fact sheet, we recommendation, if you were to go to Intech Bells and Keys. Any questions or issues there?
The 93,980 is the total of the 3 different companies that we would approve. You got an extra zero in there, but I know what you,
Okay.
it's okay. I do it all the time. So, I think we all know what it is.
Anything further on this issue?
But, again, the Indian property is, the Indian property belongs to the house. I don't know whether be fine.
I don't believe they are.
Yeah.
Okay, if nothing further on this issue, folks, I'll turn it over to you for your updates.
Hey, the first thing is talking about the Christmas parade, and I've said in front of you all, because we had some discussion last year about possibly the Christmas parade and even the public maybe doing the Christmas parade on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a weekend and something like that. So what I asked Paula to do was actually do a survey. And she surveyed, and we had about 225 people that answered the survey. And that's the survey I set in front of you all, that's color coded. If you look at it, and you look at the green, which is the Friday night, red for Saturday night. If you'll notice, the only thing that jumps out from you, the people, the one that they don't, everybody put the less about was the blue for doing it on Tuesday. They would love to do it on a Friday or Saturday. And so what council is recommending, what staff is recommending to council is trying to maybe do this on a Saturday and have something going. And I think that we have done something like before, have the Christmas dinners and other things, we do it all day, make an all day dinner on Saturday and end with a actual parade that night. And I want to know the council's thought of that before we actually come up. They were looking at the 6th, I believe, of December, which is on a Saturday, and have the Christmas parade on that 6th, on that Saturday.
Saturday, we do the Saturday.
Yeah, so look this up, okay, Saturday.
So you're looking at, you're trying to get it on Saturday nights?
Yes. We'll have something going on during that Saturday day as well, to actually, and culminate with the Christmas parade that night, so it'll be an all-day event downtown. Your thoughts?
That sounds good to me.
It seems overwhelmingly and pretty even, I didn't count, but pretty even between Friday and Saturday. There is one comment in there about Tuesday, noting that Knox's Nutcracker event is typically on that weekend, but they normally don't do it on Saturday, they do it on Friday, and perhaps Saturday, do it Sunday. So that gives credence to Saturday logic in mind.
I have to look at the schedule, that may be, that's a change.
Needle.
Well, you know,
There's also one thing, one thing we do, so that first week, we should do our meeting night, because we have all the business.
we all think that before one.
Yeah, that's,
Can we Google the SEC championship, because that's gonna be a huge factor about people attending.
Yeah, that's, I'll tell that.
That is the date. That's the correct date. It was December 7th this year.
That is a championship game. That really good thing,
It's going to affect
including mine.
my,
Just
all of it.
That's not your Texas. Yeah.
It don't matter. If that one on the thing, they make some 8 o'clock in the morning. People might want to do it all.
I was gonna be, it is.
Hey, I'll still be there.
It's going to be on December the 7th at 11. I can't tell what time.
I doubt it, that is.
It'll be in the evening.
You know, the grill set that one.
Yeah, well, we don't know yet, because it'll be, what we all, Saturday, too.
I mean, if we're doing Saturday and we're doing the full day, there's a, but it's all in ways. But if we're doing the full day of Christmas on that day, we could possibly advertise in conjunction with the SEC championship, assuming that we'll be in it, in the entertainment district, maybe have our restaurants partake in some idea to include Christmas in the game. I don't know, just to get people out.
Yeah, I've said that somewhere.
Yeah.
Games for those slots.
I mean, we can just hope. that-
I mean, Saturday's the old day, what do you mean?
I guess those say that was really for more earlier. If we make a festival out of it,
What do you say, Ken?
I know Auburn's not gonna play the game, so I'm okay either way.
I would agree with that. I think everyone in the room probably.
It's not gonna affect my game. It'll be in the evening. It'll definitely be in the evening. And they, the SEC championships always in the evening.
Yeah, but like you said, it could be 3, it could be, because you got the big, you may have the Big 12 that day, the ACC that day, it depends on.
There's only like 3 championship games left now.
Yeah.
Conference line.
But we won't know the time until later on.
I'm just saying that we don't have to have a parade night, during the day, but we still don't know what time of day.
Yeah, you decide to have it during the day, you end up with it. I just picked it,
So what, when we talk about making an offer, what all, yeah, is this something we
It is plans, and we just don't have concrete plans, we got like, we're looking to get a date, so we can line up with other cities as well. Nobody else has it on that date. There's already the high schools that have reached out, the bands don't see a big problem with it right now. So we just need a date so we can lock it in and get it to you immediately, and that's what we need to do now. So that's why we let staff work tomorrow.
I said we can tie it in. We can tie in the championship, make it a huge event in our entertainment district. Other people come or not, it's on them, but I think that we can try to make some ways to encourage people to be a part of
And
it.
we can also encourage them to represent the public.
Right, Jessica, can we AI generate the ones who act like we have? Is there a way we got to AI generate?
That's at least.
At least, I'm
I'll come in my hobby costume.
What was your question?
So we do.
That's Saturday, okay, 7 o'clock. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I would like Lisa to come, she's giving you some on home funding, because keep in mind that appropriations for 2024, I believe it is, are going to go down, and if we look back, this is going to impact home. So I want the council to be aware when this comes down that we have, it's continuously what we're finding the trend is home funding is starting to go down each year. And I don't think it's impacting CDBG as much, but home funding. So I just want the council to be aware of that, so when he was on, they ask that question, what's going on with home fund? There's going to be a list that we can do because the appropriations are getting less and less. So if y'all have any questions, she's put the numbers in front of you.
Are we spending ours?
That's. With the homework,
Yeah.
it's allocated, we've spent some, but the biggest project that hasn't spent any yet.
I guess that kind of gets to, and I know the big project is up in the shelter, big project.
No, sir. The shelter piece came under American Rescue outside of CDBG
Okay.
and home, but, Hallmark, it's the addition to the volunteers, the Zero South Allen location.
But I would say a couple of things. I mean, it's kind of a universal thing. It's not a city of Anniston failure to expend these funds that's making Congress change it. It's everybody's doing that.
Correct.
So I would encourage us as a council to press the issue on expenditure of those funds in a regular way, so that you end up, it's like any federal funds, if you send them back, you get less next year. They determine that you don't need as much if you're not spending it. So we got to figure out a way to spend what we're receiving, so we will continue to receive it.
Home is also, if I may, home is also allocated under an algorithm. So unless they appropriate, the less we're gonna get anyway, even if we don't spend it. But
Right.
Walmart does need to definitely go down, which is their reasoning for lessening the home allocation right now.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, but it's almost half.
So,
Better than that.
It is.
Stop home rate for the zero, out. We rolled up that.
Not necessarily, we are moving forward, it's just that right now we're making sure all the plans from the engineer and the architect are approved by our building inspector.
If I may, you will notice it was bid, it's in the paper last weekend, but it's been bid out. So that process is started. And they're taking care of everything behind the scenes. We got to move on. Keep in mind, the clock is ticking on that, that's what all funding, keep in mind, so that's what they get on.
Well, it's important for us to reach to our federal legislative team and express value of this program in our communities, and get our member groups to do the same. But anybody that you know, here at National League of Cities, and all of those things that we run into, it needs to be something that we bring forward. The pressure, you put pressure from multiple fronts on your federal legislative group, and that allocation can change back to the way it needs to be. How much we do about it now.
anything further on the home appropriations?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. The last thing is I want to make sure the council is aware, if everybody knows, that 12th and Nova, that hole has been filled. And if you notice, it's not a green space now. Keep in mind, this is because of the condition of the building next door. We're not gonna put anything in there where we can't come back and make parking if we need to do something down the line. But if you will notice, it looks a lot better downtown. We're actually gonna put some railings around it. And keep in mind, what I would want to kudos to the project that's going on with the Draper Trail, because they were used on that field work that they had out there, and they actually brought it in and helped us fill that hole up. So kudos to that. So keep in mind, Mr. Wilson, they were not filled with cars, it was filled with fillers. So it was filled that was used from the Draper Trail, so it was not cars.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Hey, I would encourage, maybe we send Public Works or somebody out there. I went by it today, first off, I think we need to probably roll the sod, but it's probably not time to roll it yet, but it looks really good. I think we've done a good job. I like the little bit of undulation in it. I like that it's not just flat pancake space. But we need to look at that remaining wall that's exposed and make sure we don't have any rebar or anything that's sticking out of there. If there's anything we need to do to ensure that somebody doesn't get injured on that wall, because it's chipped and broken and it's ours, and we need to make sure that we're protecting our public.
Yes, sir, we're working on that, and also we're actually gonna put some color to it too, so it looks a lot better. So it's that,
Right.
looks better, so we're working on that, and then college coming up with some ideas possibly before we do that. But yeah, let's check the rebar, checking the safety issues, but most importantly, it looks a lot better than that. And something's gonna come out there before the end of the year, Lord willing, and it's gonna be something where it's gonna be a nice green space that can be usable, but also can be transitioned as quickly as possible as necessary.
Excellent.
That's all I have.